Just talk. They can't hear us here. So.
And how you...
oh, they can hear us. They can actually hear us.
They can hear us?
This is getting recorded.
Hey, is that recording on the camera?
It's recording
remember
here.
That one time?
This is the button. It's not up there. Yeah, if I yawn, will you still love me?
Yeah, don't get snippy with me. I have to breathe. Obviously, you have to breathe, but I have to be able to tell you. Do you want a code word? No, we can't have a code word.
I think I never snip if you don't lead with pre-snip.
Can I do that if you're breathing into the microphone?
Yeah. Just say, hey,
this might be easier.
Could you not breathe so much? Not. Whatever, I'm just going.
So, I look like a bum today.
Total bum.
Total bum. I came from the gym.
I did too. I look great.
Got me there. Today, we are going to talk about the act of adding value. This is something we talk about a lot at home with each other and as parents.
With the kids.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to kind of bring it into this format because obviously when you live your life dedicated to adding value everywhere you go, you know, you're going to make the world a better place in a million little ways. You are going to change the world. You're going to be leading your children in that mindset, and you truly are going to be helping people in little and big ways. But selfishly, adding value everywhere you go is a like powerhouse way to attract everything you want to get in life. Yeah.
So you help enough people and you get whatever you want.
So we're going to explore each side of that today because I think they're interesting to talk about because, you know, when you talk about adding value, you want to just talk about it like you're a little fairy, but truly
the value fairy.
Selfishly, it's powerful. And I think that us as business owners, as people who lead teams, who raise children, who are in this, like, we're in this weird time in the world anyway, where kindness and value means more than it ever has in a world full of noise and chaos. It's a really cool conversation. But first, let's talk about the weekend.
That's what I was going to say. Shamelessly, before we get into this,
we have to congratulate you.
Talk about myself. Because I think we said by our next podcast, you know, it would be past this whole event. And yeah, I was going to do the first step in qualifying for Loretta's. So we went to Loretta's area qualifier. And that's motocross. If you want to look into it, it's motocross racing. And
yeah, you speak a lot of words we don't know.
Yeah, I had to get 9th or better. And I'm looking at my plaque across the room right now, set up on my desk, that I qualified in 8th position. And now the real work starts because those guys were fast. I think there was 25 people. But the next time there'll be 40, and I have to get 6th, and they'll be faster. So I really need to, we're going to start training. I've got, met someone there that is in my area, a couple people, and we're going to start riding and training together.
I'm really excited for you. I'm really proud of you because not only, you know, there were a lot of weird feelings. I think that before a race weekend, and this had the highest stakes of anything I've ever been at with you, before a race weekend, there's so many little things where you don't want to mess with the juju. Like, I'm not going to say, don't get hurt. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to jinx you. Like, there's all these little things that you don't say before that after a race weekend, like as soon as we load up the camper and we're headed home, it's like we can kind of like word vomit all these things. Like, I've been thinking this all weekend. And that's how I felt. I mean, I asked you, like, how would you have felt if you didn't qualify? And the answer was kind of funny because you were like, I'd kind of be relieved because I know I'd be done. But I know that's not truly you. Like, I know that you are going to do this. You're going to take this as far as you can take it, and you're going to give it your all. And our kids got to see it this weekend. We had the best weekend. I think I had like a full-blown anxiety attack on that hill watching you race for the first time. Like, there's just so many emotions with a race, but in all the downtime, if you haven't experienced like the environment of motocross, it's the coolest, safest, most family friendly, just friendly. It feels like you're in a complete like RV campground with hundreds of people that like are your family. And it's just mind blowing to go there. No matter where you go, every time there's a race, it's that feeling. I've never felt any negative feeling in a motocross race. And it's just, it's incredible. So thank you for exposing our family to this and letting our kids experience this, but also for kind of sharing all these steps along the way. Cause we could be talking about this right now and you could be saying, yeah, you gave it your all and you didn't qualify. And that'd be a different conversation, but you kicked ass, man. And I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Next, the tip of the week, which I'm really excited about. Should we get a jingle? Should I sing the jingle?
You should have a jingle where we just press one of these buttons and it does a jingle.
I know. Bryce told us about our podcast machine, our producer. We can set up preset jingles. So coming soon, a tip of the week jingle. This is what I'm really excited about. We talked about it in GrowCom a couple weeks ago in the Facebook group. I'm going to give it a big lead in, okay? This tip is suitable for any industry. If you are someone who does consultations or meets with potential clients one-on-one, like literally any industry, it's incredibly easy, requires no CRM, no special marketing software. You don't need MailChimp. You don't need anything. You literally just need your email. You can do it from your phone. It is incredibly underutilized, especially in our industry, which I think most of the people that are listening right now probably are in our industry. So that's a huge incentive to do this. And it packs a huge punch for how little effort it is. I am talking about an introduction email.
Yeah. Everybody loves it too. Like, and so before she even goes into this, like, I meet client after client that is like, wow, that was a great email introducing you to me. And then as you get more salespeople on the team, like they know and have read all about qualifications and everything about that person before they even meet them.
I want to break down the pieces that we have in our introduction email, which you can read it and see what it looks like in the GrowCom Facebook group if you're a member. But in case you're not, the header of this email is a headshot of you. And that is very intentional because you're connecting immediately, you know, your name and your face, and you're creating familiarity. So as soon as you pull up in their driveway and get out of your truck, they know who you are because they have seen your face before. So the first sentence of this email, and let me start it by saying every morning the girls in our office look at your upcoming day and they send this email out to the individual people that you'll have consultations with. Yep. It confirms their appointment first. So like, just confirming that today you're meeting with Jacob at this time. That's like the most important information, obviously. It gives them an out to cancel or reschedule if they need to, but you're also confirming. And then I introduce you as the founder of the company, your role in the company. And then I immediately switch gears and go into the fact that you're a husband and father. And I name the kids and I name me and your dad because we work in the company too. I discuss your professional achievements and all the things that you kind of have a hand in outside of the company, and I link everything so they can really explore you if they want. And then I kind of finish it out by saying, personally, he is passionate about wellness and motocross riding, and I put a little sentence right now in temporarily that says, ask him about his big race this summer. So it's not just an email confirmation. It's not just an introduction. It's creating talking points and it's creating connection, and it labels you an expert. It does all these little
building
things.
Rapport before you even meet them.
So much. And it makes you human. It doesn't make you just another salesman. If maybe they're meeting with 3 or 4 people that week, it sets you apart and it sets the bar. So it really tells them what to expect from the experience that they're going to have with you.
Yep.
And I guarantee that 90% of landscaping companies are not doing this. And and again, it's one of the most easy things you could be doing, even if you didn't implement all the other little things that we talk about. So that's the tip of the week, is reach that next level of communication and human connection to see how it impacts your consultations, because I think it's totally major.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to fix my microphone.
What's wrong with your microphone?
I don't know. It's getting a little droopy.
Yeah, just while you're doing whatever it is you're doing over there making noise. I just love hearing that when people read it and it means something to them. And then like knowing that we do that for everybody that goes out and does consults, it's big. Everything, so many things are underutilized in our industry and a lot of industries. You know, there's so much more you could do. And this is leading perfect into our topic of adding more value. How are you different? How do you add more value? I mean, even to your presentation, I try to add value with the way I present, like how strong my wording and my confidence and my certainty is. And like the guy I met with today, got a deposit on a $12,791 check. And that was the first time we met him. Now we're mowing his lawn, so he knows about us, but he was calling us out to like look at patching some sod and putting in landscape lighting. And now we're going to sod his whole front lawn, move sod from the front to the back that was just installed, and do landscape lighting in the front and back, put color LEDs in, and also put in a palm. He's a retired mason, and he's like, from meeting thousands of people, you did an excellent job presenting yourself, you know? And it's like, that's bringing more value. Don't look like a fucking shithead when you go out like to people's properties. You know, some people can pull off like tattooed up and goofy hair and this and that. Put your best foot forward with everything, your appearance, your everything, your confidence, because you only get that split second to make a first impression.
Oh, I'm glad I led this with you calling me a bum and me looking like a total bum for the people that are watching this on video. You're so
Sorry,
right.
I got carried away there.
No, but it's so cool listening to you talk because I truly didn't realize I had planned out that tip of the week and this topic separately.
Tip of the week.
Tip of the week. Okay, I'm so excited about the jingle. I didn't realize how like much they truly complement each other because it's so true. No matter what, in adding value, you are an expert at something. And I think I heard this. I think I eavesdropped this through the wall when you were listening to like a Sean Whalen call or something where he said, even if you're, and maybe I'm wrong, but like even if you've been divorced, you're an expert at divorce kind of thing. Like you're an expert at something. No one labels you an expert. If you've experienced it and you know this, then you are an expert at something. And it doesn't have to be what you do in your day job. So I think that when you're talking about the intro email, it's kind of cool because when you get to touch on all the different things you do, you know, your motocross, your fatherhood, all these little things, it's like you get to create that connection and add value with people who maybe they have a son that has the same name as your son and they know that because of your email. Human connection's just underutilized in this world anyway. 100%. So I think adding value just by being human is cool. But so when we talk about adding value everywhere you go, that could seem like a huge like energy suck or really like how I'm just an expert at landscaping. How do I add value everywhere you go? But it's so much simpler than that. Like I said, like you don't have to just be an expert at your job. You can add value simply by listening to someone that needs to be heard.
Listening to someone that needs to be heard, lending yourself for someone, like some people just need somebody to talk to, just being a person that's there to give all the time. Just be the lighthouse, not the tugboat. Focus on how do I inspire and help others and get more in the thought of like, think about how can I serve other people? Because that's bringing value, is serving other people with whatever it is that the value that needs to be brought to them, you know? There's so many opportunities, even if you are just a landscaper, just a lawn care person, you know, the tip of the week, you know, that was a great idea. Making sure your company's communication is that's why when I get frustrated if we're dropping balls on communication, because that's one of our values is we over communicate. We're not like the people in this industry. We're better, you know, like, and
we're raising the bar for the industry, which is, it's a massive undertaking.
That's overall value add.
Exactly. I mean, it's not just like we're the best. It's like, no, we're bringing these people that are equally committed to this along with us to raise the entire bar on the industry. And again, back to that. I mean, I think about, I don't know if they're listening to this right now, but Jessica and Zach are friends who are also business owners, and Jessica adds value to me because she is a homeschooling mom who is much more experienced in that sector than me. And when they visited us last, it was like a 2-minute conversation, but it was such a cool conversation that affected the trajectory of how I'm teaching Jace to read. Yeah. I mean, it was just like, you just added so much massive value just by something that you've already experienced that was almost like a throwaway conversation. Like, oh, I hated that. This is what I did. Yep. And it's crazy how little, but how impactful value.
I don't know why everybody's so set on that they have to knock shit out of the park. It's not about knocking it out of the park. It's the little things you can do for other people. That's why listening is adding value. That's why being someone can talk to and just trying to give them insight on if you have some knowledge in their position, like the well of things you can do. Like, it's hard to even talk about because there's so many different opportunities where you can bring value to someone.
Can I tell you how you have changed my life, and you've added such massive value to my life simply by doing these little things? When you started your self-improvement, I don't know what to label it, this journey you've gone on where you started attending events and you started like reading books, and you just like committed yourself to being like the best possible version of yourself. At first it was just like, oh yeah, he's doing this whole thing. It wasn't even on my radar. But especially in the last year, maybe even 2 years, you have shared in little snippets and little regular conversations. You share about a book that you're reading and a nugget that you got from it, or a podcast or something. You share these little nuggets and you add these little nuggets of value to me just throughout our normal exchanges, to where I have implemented such changes in myself, and I've raised the bar in my own life just by being around you and just from your energy and your like willingness to add value.
You're making me feel overly special.
No, but I have to tell you, that's the impact you can have though. You didn't even realize you were doing that. You don't even realize that after you like tell me this really cool thing you just read in your book this morning, and then you walk off, that holy shit, like that just made a profound impact on the way I viewed the entire world. And that's adding value everywhere you go. You don't even have to be acknowledged for it or even realize you're doing it. It just becomes natural.
That's why constantly focusing on bettering yourself can add so much value to people, because if you're trying to push the bar, push yourself forward, like you subconsciously will help others. Like kind of like doing 75 hard, how I had multiple people on the team want to do it afterwards. It brought some kind of value to them where they saw the differences in me. So then they did it. And that was just by me. And like almost everybody in GrowCom. That's what's cool about people. The more they take action, want to grow their business, the more that they will. That's the few people that do it in the company. And then the more you get into a realm of like people that really want to go forward, like you'll have a lot more, you'll trend, like a lot more things like that will trend. It's so cool to just know that like me working on me can bring massive value to other people, you know, and me doing the things that I do that I'm going to do for myself, no matter what, as long as I can share that with people or share, you said little nuggets, how much value that can bring. So that's a really cool point too. You should bring value in your company by reading and educating yourself and trying to help as many people in your company become more educated with their money and with their potential. So therefore they're better people, and it makes your overall company better because now you've got better people in your company. Where a lot of companies, I've heard a lot in our industry, and I didn't even realize how much I heard it from people that I worked closely around or other businesses when I first started out, that they're like, well, you know, you invest all this time and train somebody and then they go out and start their own business. And it's like anybody that's as smart enough to run their own business will eventually quit and run their own business. And so you don't invest, or you do invest. Like you're going to have the company either way. What if you don't invest in training them and they fucking stay? You know what I mean? That's the whole thought process. Everybody's like, well, what if we invest all that time and they go out on their own? What if they fucking stay and you don't invest any time on them and they don't get better, so your company doesn't get better, all because of the dumbass thought that they'll go out and start their own company if I give them too much knowledge. Like that's so ridiculous. When them going out and starting their own company, if they're capable, that brings more value to the marketplace and everything above and beyond like what you're already offering. It could create more jobs. Like you don't realize, like, so you inspired someone, you brought value to them, you helped them learn about a company. As long as they're not a shithead about doing it, you know, like that's another way to bring value that people don't think about, because like there's this big hang up on, they think they're going to tell somebody some special secret. Dude, we run lawn and landscape companies. There's no special secret. You can go get shovels and wheelbarrows and start a company. You know, the determining factor is how good are you going to get and how good are your people going to get because you train them. How good am I going to try to get so I can rub off the things I'm learning so the people can be fucking inspired? A cult, as we've been accused of several times. But no, just like people, it's inspired to go in a direction, you know? Again, I got way off the rails, but I got really excited.
I loved every word of it. Now I'm going to talk about the alternative, because I think we are all familiar with the alternative. I have been the alternative. I think the opposite of someone who is going out to add value is what we can all think of is that like internet troll, the person who only must spend all their time on their phone, just leaving mean comments, tearing people down. It's sad for them. And I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about this part of it, but that's the example of someone who is not adding value. You know, are you the person leaving smart ass comments on, like, really truly check yourself? Do you get on social media and leave smart ass comments for other people and try to stir shit and spend time in the news comment sections where it's like horrible and there's no changing anyone's perspective? Yeah. Because that's decreasing value. Mm-hmm. It's horrible. This is something I've experienced, is you really can lose out on your relationships. So I assume all the time that you are giving 100%, that you are, to me, that you are adding value to our relationship, that you are doing your like total like max output of being able to add value to our relationship. And I would assume you would assume the same about me. Like that's all you can do, is assume the other person is giving, because in a relationship you should be giving. It's like that with any relationship, not just an intimate relationship. But when it's so obvious that the other person, that the value exchange is so imbalanced, I mean, whether it's personal or professional, your relationship is going to suffer. So even if you are not, let's think about a professional relationship, or maybe a more like a mentor mentee relationship or in a boss and employee relationship, like even if you're the person that's supposed to be learning, you can still add value. You know, you can still be adding value in all of your exchanges. I mean, I think about the people in GrowCom. They are paying for a membership to be in there, to be coached and to be held accountable, to get value. But God, look at those people and how much value they add to each other of their own accord. You know, all these conversations that go into the discussion in the Facebook group. It's like incredible to see these people taking time out to simply to add value. And that's beautiful. And when you create those communities, that's huge. And I think that we have done a lot of work to have all of our relationships kind of feel that way. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of weeding out to make sure that's that way. You know what you said earlier about getting introduced to the motocross community? The thing about the motocross community, yeah, there are some assholes. There's always an asshole, you know? But you're in this environment where everyone, honestly, you're all competing against each other, but everyone would help anybody, right?
It's crazy.
And so there's always someone to help you get the pieces, the parts, the fixes, the whatever it is you need. I mean, I even think back to like, I was a good rider. And since I was a good rider racing the expert class when I was younger, like my dad kind of fizzled out of the racing and I didn't have any money. I got with a kid and his dad wanted his kid to get better. He took me everywhere. And I was basically like the person he rode with to try to get faster. You know what I mean? And I got to travel everywhere just because of that.
That's really cool.
But like what you're talking about, all the time that's invested in there, that's what I love about like the value of like even something as simple as GrowCom. And everybody there is willing to help each other rather than the other side you said. Like, what's really funny, you won't ever see me stepping on and getting on and talking shit about some company. Because honestly, even if I don't like you, I don't have enough fucking time or bandwidth to give you my words or give you my energy because I'm out doing my own thing. And honestly, if that's not how you feel and you have a business, your business is probably not going to be that great. Because if you've got the time to jibber jabber and bullshit about stupid shit and try to cut others down instead of focusing on building your thing. And that's what I love. Like that's not in the motocross community. That's not in GrowCom. That's in like, and it's not even about these group things. That's like you want to create these groups that are like that in every sector of your life.